All right, people, what is going on? Back with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. It is Friday, y'all. This is absolutely a great day in my opinion. It's Friday, the weekend is here. We're gonna go and get things done on the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, hopefully you guys will come through and watch the content. I really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe and check out all the content I got going on. Got a basketball game that's gonna be up later on today, so hopefully you guys will check that out. And this stuff is premiering, so check that out. Let's talk about what is going on with Stop Killing Games. We haven't talked about this in a minute. Stop Killing Games, the signatures for the UK Parliament has passed. They had enough signatures, enough valid signatures, and they're going to have a debate on this topic on November 3rd, 2025. You can see this debate on their YouTube channel. I am definitely going to be checking this out. If I am off that day, which I'm not sure I'll be off, but if I am, I will be live streaming it. But I gotta check and see. I may be off. I probably could take the day off. I don't know. I don't know. But nevertheless, I want to see this in real time and see how this plays out, because this is a really big deal. You gotta understand that this is one of the biggest movements in gaming history, in my opinion, where these companies who are taking games away from people that they purchased, and we can probably circumvent some of that, because you know some online games that are purely online are probably going to be very difficult to remove. But you got games like The Crew, you got other games that have online capabilities that can be converted to an offline state, or it could be still wide open for the consumer to actually have private servers so that game could stay alive. You know, those are the things that we are talking about when it comes to this movement, and these companies have not been doing that, and we're trying to figure out if that's some type of anti-consumer practice, or is it absolutely just illegal that you can take away something that has been purchased, you know, regardless of whatever agreement that you may sign, because some of these agreements are not necessarily contractual. They're just putting it out there just try to cover themselves. But nevertheless, that is a whole different story when it comes to the EULA, end user license agreement, or any of that stuff. It's just that the fact that whatever goes on with games going forward, we would like those games to be in somewhat of a playable state, and hopefully with this debate we can get something out of it. Now, if they decide to side with the companies, that will be a major blow. But hey, at the end of the day, we did our part. We did what we were supposed to do. But there's a lot of support from all areas outside of the UK, even some in the UK. They are supporting that. Look, the consumer should have their game intact in some form or fashion after they paid for it. And I think that this is a thing that may work in our favor. You know, like, this is a really big deal. So not only with the UK, you still have the rest of Europe that are still doing their thing with the million+ signatures that we got. I think we got up to like 1.3, 1.4 signatures on that aspect. So we still are hitting this from a different angle, not only just in the UK, the entire, you know, European Union, or European, I don't know what it's called, but I'm sorry, because I'm from the US, so I don't know. But when you look at everything that is going on with that aspect of the world, they're really pushing this thing so that not only that if this one falls apart or whatever the case may be, or the debate doesn't go our way, we still have another avenue to go with the other signatures that we have. So, and like I said, people from Poland, you know, you have some other politicians that are in the area actually are backing this. So this is a really big deal. And I can't sit here and say that it will be falling into our favor as gamers, but you gotta make the steps to make it happen. Hopefully we can convince, you know, companies, or convince the politicians, so the companies will not be doing this type of stuff, because we do understand there are some games that can't be, you know, can't be saved. If you make a full-on, you know, online only game and it just made that way, we get it. And I know some people may be against that, and they may be against me saying that, but we do get it when there's some games that are built like that. But there are some games that can be left in an offline state, or it can be branched out to private servers so people could still play some of their favorite games. And, you know, and this is the thing. A lot of these companies don't want that, because they know, and we all know, this is not a thing that's necessarily a secret. These companies know that a lot of people that are out here in the gaming space can make better products, or they can make a better service than what these companies doing, albeit if it's free or not. They just know. Like, these companies are so circumvented with what they want to do instead of doing what the people want. You find rare occasions where these companies give you the proper fan service to where you are getting exactly what you pay for and you're satisfied. They just try to give you just a little bit to come back for the next game. And if we are able to put these things out there to where the private service can make a better service, they feel threatened by that. And to be honest, they really wouldn't feel threatened because it's not that many people that will really stick to one game to the point where it will hurt the sales of the company. And to be honest with you, if they do good fan service and let these games stay alive, people will give them they'll give them their money for the next game. But see, a lot of companies don't realize that people are willing to spend money when you do act in good faith. If you act in good faith and you will provide a service that will always be there, or not necessarily always be there, or give you the tools to keep that service up and running, albeit by the community or whatever, people will tend to support it. If you give out good fan service, people will pay money for it. People see this with Silksong right now. It's a really good deal. You get a good game, and it's for a decent price. And I know some people may not think that's a good price, but you're doing something. Even people who pirate games are saying, hey, look, we will support this. And it's not just because of the price point. This is just anything in general. If you give out a good product and it's a good service, people will pay pretty much anything for that good service or that good product. So if you're a company that's actually out here doing well and doing good by your fans or by your supporters, you will continue to get that stream of revenue in. What happens is a lot of these companies want to shut off services. They want to curtail what they can do. They want to give you a faucet drip of goodwill, and they want to drip that little goodwill and think you're going to continue to come back for more. And some of these companies are realizing it the hard way, that it doesn't work that way. Or they will go against their practices that's been working for them and try to do something different, and they realize why people are not buying their products. The world of consumerism is a tried and true system that will always work. You give the fans what they want, they will pay for it. And killing games off is not the way to go. Now, I know that this may be a niche market or whatever the case may be. A lot of us may not be into this. The majority will just go with the flow because they're blinded by it. And I get it. They're blinded by the new things. You put something new in people's face, they'll buy it. But then again, you have a lot of people that are signing petitions, over 1 million people signing petitions to make things happen that are different than what the norm is. And I think at the very least, it will cost a lot of these companies very little to keep some of this stuff up and running for the few million people that want to keep it up and running. It's like, at the end of the day, you can do a balancing act. You can make this happen for them, and you can still cater to the people who don't care and just want the new game all the time. And you're getting revenue from both sides. Because even the people who want to keep those games up and running, they will buy the next game. A good bit of them will. Even with that other game, they will go and play the other game. At least give it a shot. So I think this is a really good thing overall. And I think some companies are starting to realize that, hey, some of this stuff is trivial at best. At the most part, just give your fans what they want. They want to get this game to be up and running and keep it alive. Sometimes it's not but a flick of a switch to do so. So hopefully some of these politicians say that, feel the same way we feel, and the debate could be up for some type of a real debate. It'd be up for some type of real debate, and it will actually be something that will gain some progress. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We want to have some progress into some things like this, because some of these games don't deserve to be in the state they're in. The Crew shouldn't have never happened. Games like The Crew should have never happened the way it did. If you want to talk about licensing issues when it comes to cars, I get it. You want to delist the game, I get it. But to take the game completely away and it not working, it shouldn't take for a group of guys to mod the game to have the game back working again. It shouldn't take that. It just keep the game up and running. And I think Ubisoft really understands that, because now they are, actually having the game offline for the other games that they did. They knew it was a mistake. So hopefully we'll see how this goes. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We'll see how this goes. Definitely November 3rd is going to be the big, debate. Well, I ain't gonna say it's big, but it's gonna be a debate on it. And I want to see how this plays out. And also I'm gonna keep my eye on that other petition that we had in the UK where it had 1.4 million signatures. Hopefully we see some good news out of all of this. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Check out all the links down in the description. And hopefully I'll see you guys later for the premiere of the other video that I got coming up when we be playing some basketball and NCAA basketball 10. And we'll be playing with Georgia Southern. We'll see how that goes. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.